Hello everyone, welcome back. So I'm doing an exercise today where I'm just confirming my second zero at 200 yards. Okay, so I pulled out a rifle that had been zeroed in at 50 yards. It was with the primary arms MS. What is this? The M10S. Okay, so it's got an ACSS 1 to 10 by 28. I zeroed in at 50 yards with a 77 grain bullet. So my second zero should be at 200 yards. So I said, okay, let's shoot this at 200 yards and see where we impact. Okay, so this is the 200 yards. So far I did 3 groups today. So I shot initially. The first group was just like a screw up, right? It was these 3 shots here with a 77. I mean, it was just a mess. I pulled the shots. Forget about that one. Okay, it was centered, but just like a horrible group. These are fine. Here, something weird happened with that one up there, and these are way too low. So I don't know what happened here. But anyway, I took another 3 shots with this, and basically it's centered, right? Because I had my chevron underneath the bullseye here. And apparently I pulled the shots a little bit to the right, but it's pretty much, on the line, okay? And let's see, at 200 yards, we got a little bit more than, no, it's 1.25 inches. There you go. We have 1.25 inch group at 200 yards. Okay, now that is with a 18-inch Palmetto 223 Wild barrel, okay? And it's got, like I said, it's got the primary arms ACSS scope on top of it. I'm basically the height over bore, which does play a role. I mean, I think it's pretty close to like 2 3/4 inches, but I don't know exact. It's just I think it's a pretty standard height. I'm using a the Aerial Precision scope mount. So whatever that works out to. And then what I did, so that was with a 77 grain bullet that I got that 1.25 inch group on the line, right? Elevation was correct. I just pulled the shots off to the right. And I said, you know what, let's try some 55 grain bullets, okay? And see where we impact. And I expected it to come much higher, like somewhere up here. But it didn't seem to go that much higher. Basically, apparently this time I pulled the shots to the left. Now it is a little bit windy today, so I don't know how much the wind is messing with my shot groups. So this is with the PMC X-Tax at 200 yards. It looks like it's 2 3/4 inches. Okay, with the PMC X-Tax. But the to my surprise, like I thought the faster bullets would have gone significantly higher, or the 77 grains would have come down a little bit more. But practically speaking, with both even though I zeroed in with the 77 grains, it appears with either the 77 grains or the 55 grains, I'm pretty close to, I'm pretty much there, right? I have that second zero at 200 yards. So on this particular rifle, it is working it is working out. Now I had tested this at 100 yards. At 100 yards, I was, I think, an inch and I think 1.3 inches. I don't remember. I think it was 1 3/4 inches high. I think at 100 yards. That is a little, that's on the 18-inch barrel. Normally with the red dots on the 16-inch barrels, I usually come in about 3 to 4 inches high when I have a 50-yard zero. So it somehow, for whatever reason, the longer 18-inch barrel with the 50-yard zero, I'm guessing, for whatever reason, it's not getting up to 3 inches high. It's only going up to like 1 3/4 inches high, but it is coming back down and giving me that second zero at 200 yards. Okay, so I got the idea to confirm my second zero from a channel called Practical Accuracy. A great channel. I like the guy's style over there. I follow it. Definitely recommend it for you guys to also follow as well. So that's today's exercise. I wanted to confirm my second zero to see if it's actually 200 yards, and I can see that, yes, I am impacting at 200 yards. Surprisingly, with both, with obviously with the 77 grain, which I kind of expected, but also with a 55 grain, which I didn't expect. I expected the 55 grain to be impacting a little bit higher. Okay, thanks for watching. Talk to you guys soon. All right, so I decided to shoot this again with a different gun. Okay, this time I shot it with the Ruger MPR, and on top of that, I've got the M8 Raptor. Now this is also an 18-inch barrel. Okay, so both of these are 18-inch barrels. The other one was a 223 Wild from Palmetto. This one is from Ruger Cold Hammer Forged. So first I shot it with the 77 grain. So again, with this rifle, it has been zeroed in at 50 yards with the 77 grain. Okay, and basically that's these circles right here. Okay, so we got 3 hits. Oh, let me measure out. Okay, so it is a windy day, so it is throwing off my groups, and so I got 2 inches at 200 yards. Okay, so we got a 50-yard zero on this. What we're doing is we're testing to see if our second zero is true, and yeah, it's basically pretty much on the line. Elevation is correct. It's working out correctly with the same 77 grain bullet that I zeroed in at 50 yards. The grouping is nice, 2 inches at 200 yards, so that's a 1 MOA. Again, we've got wind today, and the wind's like kind of on and off. So, when you got wind, you're not going to get in. It's very hard to get inside of 1 inch, inside of 1 MOA rather. So we got 2 inches at 200 yards. I'm okay with that. So what I did is I then shot it with the 55 grains. And on this one, I actually see basically the faster bullet did impact higher. And I did shoot this twice. The first time I shot it with the 55 grains, it's basically the ones that you see here in the triangle, right? So the wind was gusting pretty hard to the right when I shot this, and I was holding at the same point here, right? Chevron right underneath the bullseye. So it came up like I kind of expected it, right? And the wind pushed it to the right. I did a 5-shot group, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles, and the 5th one got blown way out over there and impacted the post over here on that spot that you see there. So so I said, let me shoot this again. This time I'm gonna wait till the wind dies down a little bit. So it is still pushing. I mean, today is just a day where the wind is not gonna stop. The reason why the wind ribbons aren't moving here is because this is kind of enclosed. This berm is kind of shielding the wind mostly. But when I shot this, it seemed like I didn't have wind, but there was a little bit of wind. But the group did get tighter. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 shots over here, right? 4 shots, and then the 5th one came way down here. So I don't know what's up with this one that came way down here. I don't know why that dropped. I think I was pretty good with holding my chevron pretty consistently. So let's discount that with the 4 shots that grouped nicely. We got like 2 3/4 inches at 200 yards with the PMC X-Tax. Okay, so this is a match grade ammo, PMC X-Tax. So again, discounting that one over there for who knows why. The other 4 shots grouped at 2 3/4 inches. But I do see the elevation. So the question becomes, why is it when I shot the other gun earlier, did it seem to impact on the same line? I suspect, I don't know for sure, maybe my hold was a little bit lower, because here's the thing, when you're holding underneath the bullseye here, like at 200 yards, like if you're touching it here, or if you're maybe a little bit here, right, seeing a little bit of space here, or if you're a little bit into the blue, just a small difference like you're seeing right now, over 200 yards can have a significant, can make a significant difference. I suspect, I don't know for sure, but I suspect that that's probably the reason why when I shot the earlier rifle, I didn't see the elevation change with the lighter bullet. I suspect that maybe I was just holding a little bit lower than I should have been. I don't know for sure. But with I have confirmed though with both of these rifles, which was zeroed in with 77 grains at 50 yards, with using the same ammunition, they're pretty much impacting exactly on the line, right? The correct elevation at 200 yards. Okay, I am a little bit off to the right today. I'm gonna say that that's wind. I'll have to shoot this a few more times just to confirm that. But hey, that's that's what I got for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to y'all soon. All right, so curiosity got the better of me. I went back to the first rifle, right? The Palmetto 223 Wild, 18 inches, with the primary arms. It's the primary arms 1 to 10 by 28. So I shot it again at the 200 yards, holding the chevron right underneath the bullseye, and you can see my impacts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm impacting at the same elevation. Okay, when it seemed like I pulled shots a little bit to the left, but I'm impacting at the same elevation with the PMC X-Tax. Okay, so the 55 grains and 77 grains are impacting at the same place. I mean, I don't know why that's happening. Whereas when I go to the other one, the Ruger MPR over here with the primary arms M8 Raptor. Okay, when I shoot that at 200 yards, my 77 grains impact at the same place where they impact the same place at 50 yards and at 200 yards, right? That's happening on both rifles, right? On both of these rifles, the 77 grains are impacting right at the same elevation as the bullseye, both at 50 yards and 200 yards. However, on the let's not get mixed up here. On the Palmetto, okay, the 55 grains are also impacting at the same elevation as the 77 grains. Okay, however, when I shoot it with the Ruger MPR, there's a shift. Basically, the 5.56 impacts about 3 inches higher. Right, I'm impacting about up here. So the question that I'm trying to figure out, and I'm going to be trying to figure out, is both of these rifles are 18 inches. The height over bore is the same on both of them. It's about 2.75. I mean, they might be off by, I don't know, maybe an eighth of an inch or something, but I don't know. It seems like the height over bore is about the same on both of them. They both got the same mounts, right? They both got the aerial precision mounts. Now one is the M8 is a 30 millimeter tube, whereas the M10S is a 34 millimeter tube. But I would think that that's been that's been adjusted by the scope mount, right? Because it looks like this one's got a little, the 34 millimeters got less space here, whereas the 30 millimeters got a little bit more space at this point, so that it seems to bring it to the same height over bore. So the question becomes, like, it's a strange thing. Why is it that both of them are impacting, have the same point, same impact at 50 yards and that's at 200 yards, right? So this is where I zeroed in, right? So you see these two shots right here. Ignore these other ones. That's where I was just trying to get dialed in. These two shots over here, that's for the Palmetto, and then these two shots right here, that's for the Ruger MPR. So that's at 50 yards. Okay, so both of these are hitting the bullseye at 50 yards with the 77 grain. Okay, and both of them are hitting at the bullseye elevation with the 77 grain at 200 yards. Okay, it's only when I switch to the 55 grains. Okay, with the on the 55 grains, the Palmetto is impacting at the same elevation, but the Ruger is rising about 3 inches. Okay. Yeah, because hold on, there's the center of the circle right there. Yeah, it's about 3 inches, high. So I do not know the answer to this. So this is something I'm gonna be working on. So I don't always have the answers, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll talk to y'all soon.